Ciao a tutti ragazzi, siamo in una nuova serie, Sherlock Holmes. Questa serie, diciamo, in Italia non l'ha fatta nessuno e sono il primo a farla e quindi ragazzi, credo che si sentirà bene l'audio, quindi ragazzi andiamo a giocarla. Oggi uscirà la videocarriera. Il martedì uscirà la videocarriera e il giovedì per ora la serie di Sherlock Holmes. Tanto ragazzi vi lascio il gioco perché è un gioco fantastico, del nuovo diciamo. Vi lascio il gioco ragazzi. Il sabato raga, al massimo faremo episodi da 15 minuti, quindi non aspettatevi episodi da 20 minuti perché al massimo è 15 minuti perché io registro dalla Play, quindi massimo è 15. Manda la ciance, giochiamo.
Holmes!
Tanto c'è Sherlock Holmes che spara.
Holmes, will you stop
Mi
that?
sa che ci fosse un domani.
You are utterly mad.
Che belle pantofole. Raga, ditemi se il microfono si sente.
Is that you, Watson?
Oh, è basso.
Yes, of
perché
course it is.
però-
And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Medi Men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Quindi dobbiamo indagare sull'omicidio di Peter Carey. Tanto leggiamo. Fatemi sapere se volete leggere, se volete eletti, diciamo, chi sono le persone, di dove provengono. Intanto faccio vedere così, poi intanto se chi sa mettete in pausa. Allora ragazzi, allora intanto ci dobbiamo vestire, sì, perché credo che non andiamo in un posto con la vestaglia. Siamo sexy. Allora ragazzi, vestito marrone, andiamo poi al tavolo del trucco, si deve truccare, copricapo, forte raga. Ci sono un sacco di cappelli e di cappelli. Poi vediamo le barbe. Ah, raga, barba all'Arda Turan, alla Simone Zazza. Comunque questi li dobbiamo sbloccare, quindi non possiamo. Però sarebbe figo per farsi crescere questa barba all'Arda Turan. Quindi possiamo andare. Ok. Non parlo però.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Mi piacerebbe, scusa, mi piacerebbe che voi ascoltaste in silenzio. Tanto forse dobbiamo indagare qua, è chiuso. Allora, c'è una signora là sopra. Tanto andiamo e poi esaminiamo.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually, whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. We lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Dunque, raga, intanto io lascio ascoltare i dialoghi in silenzio. E poi volevo dire una cosa. Vi consiglio questo gioco perché è un gioco bellissimo, ti coinvolge, quindi non costa tanto, diciamo, non costa tanto, quindi ve lo consiglio. Non ce l'ha quasi nessuno in Italia, infatti, come ripeto, ancora non l'hanno fatto su YouTube questo gioco. Intanto riprendiamo. Dobbiamo trovare le... Tanto questo tocca a me. Dobbiamo trovare gli oggetti che indossa. Crocifisso. Credo il libro, infatti. Poi... Ok.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs.
Credo che ora
Carey.
possiamo fare
Nevertheless,
con
I
la
believe it
capanna.
will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Scusate.
You undertook a pilgrimage
poi
to
qua
the
ti
Cathedral
chiede
of
quelle
Santiago de
possibilità.
Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Tanto vi lascio come sempre, se chi sa mettete in pausa. Tanto credo che la capanna si aprirà.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Ci sono dei raffi, credo, almeno. Là ci sono dei raffi, quindi adesso aspetta qua. Non me lo fa. Ragazzi, quindi per questo episodio è tutto. Quindi ragazzi, per questo episodio è tutto. Ditemi se continuare o non fare più questa serie, però io la vorrei continuare. Quindi ragazzi, da Imax salve tutto. Alla prossima. Ciao ragazzi, ciao.